So you've been living with your roommate for months now. Your lease is almost up, and you're looking forward to moving out and getting your own place. You go to your landlord and tell him you'd like to break your lease early so you can move out. He tells you that you have to give him 60 days notice if you want to break your lease. You say you understand, and you'll move out in 60 days. Fast forward 60 days later and your moving day. You've found a new place to move to. You've signed a new lease. You've given your landlord 60 days notice that you're going to be moving out. And today is the day you move out. You walk into your apartment, grab your stuff, and start heading out the door. As you're walking out, your landlord stops you and says, "Wait a minute, when did you move in?" Confused, you tell him the date that you moved in. He looks at you for a moment and then he says, "That's impossible. You've only been renting this place for 2 months. It's impossible that you've been here for over 6 months. You think about it for a moment. You know how long you've been there. You could swear that you've been there for over 6 months. But maybe your memory is just playing tricks on you. Maybe you were just imagining things. You decide not to argue with your landlord, and you let it go. After all, it doesn't really matter how long you've been there. You've given him 60 days notice that you're leaving. That should be enough, but your landlord isn't letting it go. He continues to insist that you've only been there for 2 months. You tell him that you don't want to argue about it, but he won't let it go. You get into an argument with your landlord and things start to get heated. You start yelling at each other, and before you know it, the police are called. The police show up and ask what's going on. You explain that you're trying to move out, but your landlord is giving you a hard time. The police tell you that it's a civil matter and they're not going to get involved. They tell you to work it out with your landlord, and they leave. Now you're pissed. You've been nothing but polite to this guy, and he's been nothing but rude to you. You're done being nice. You tell your landlord that you're calling the cops next time he gives you a hard time. Your landlord just laughs and tells you to go ahead and call him. He's not worried. As you're walking out of your apartment, you look back at your landlord and you see something that makes the blood drain from your face. Your landlord isn't the man that you've been paying rent to for the past 6 months. This man is a stranger. You don't know who he is. And the scariest part is that the man you've been paying rent to for the past 6 months is nowhere to be found. As you're making your way down the stairs, you hear footsteps behind you. You turn around and see your landlord coming down the stairs. He looks at you and smiles. "Where are you going?" he asks. "I thought you were moving out." You tell him that you are, but he shakes his head and says, "No, you're not. You're staying here with me." You try to walk past him, but he grabs your shoulder and spins you around. "You're not going anywhere," he says. "This is our home now, and you're not leaving." He takes a step closer to you, and you can see that he has a wild look in his eyes. "Do you understand, roommate?" he asks. "We're going to be living together forever." He takes another step closer to you, and you can feel his hot breath on your neck. "And no one will ever know what happened to us," he whispers. You try to scream, but your voice is gone. You try to run, but your legs won't move. You try to fight back, but your arms are heavy and weak. You collapse to the ground, and the last thing you see is the wild look in your landlord's eyes. "So did you forget to pay your rent this month?" "Well, don't worry, because